you know what, from a man's point of view, I always want to give, like, especially when it seems to be like, the dudes are okay with that. They want to look at the facts, even if they, every once in a while, it doesn't happen. The guys don't tell us much, like, if they've been abused or something. Like, if they do, you're like, whoa. That's like, I think in the 8 years, it's happened once, but a lot of the girls that I've talked to, just letting them know, about the facts.
Yeah, just going back and forth, even just reminding them, wait, remember you were 6 years old. Like, what kind of choices did you even have as a 6-year-old, Like, I mean, just reminding them, and that person was how old, Think about that. Think about, you didn't have any, that was not your fault, and just going back, I think, to the facts of the situation, especially when it comes to, like, the age issue, just because I think now they're a teenager, so they realize how much influence they have on their lives, all of a sudden, they can have a lot of influence on their lives, and so I almost think they think they were like that when they were younger. It's kind of like they forget that they didn't really have a lot of choices, and they didn't have a lot of power in their life, and just kind of reminding them of, think about a 6-year-old, would you ever blame that person if something bad happened, and just helping them kind of maybe see it from a different perspective.
And then the other thing is when I've had this happen, maybe twice in these years, is when someone comes up to you and says, hey, I went to this party, I got really drunk, I think they slipped me something, I woke up naked on a bed, and obviously I was probably raped. And that's happened to me, and so it was really difficult because I'm sitting there looking like you're a freshman, and your parents really need to know in the fact that you need to go to the doctors to see if you've got STD, because they don't go away, they don't get better. And I felt like I was trying to encourage that person to talk to their parents, but it didn't really work. But I was really afraid, like, that the person they slept with probably didn't use protection. There's a lot of things there. Is it good to encourage them to talk to their parents, to go to the doctors? I mean, I don't know what's...
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I don't know what kind of relationships you guys have with the parents of the youth that come here, but it might not be a bad idea to say, you know what, we need to tell your parents this, and I'm going to do it with you, and can we meet with your parents and do that? It might be really hard, they might not like you very much, but like you said, sometimes you have to put the safety of the person ahead of the relationship for a while, and eventually, probably the person's going to, respect you for it, and hopefully that relationship will be okay. But, if you really feel like the parents need to know about something, I had situations like that with kids in therapy, and I would tell them, obviously I'm not going to report everything you say to me to your parents. This is our therapy. I said, but if there's something that happens and you're in danger, like let's say you start using drugs and alcohol in a way that's very dangerous, or you're, being very promiscuous with sex, things that are dangerous, we're going to have to talk to your parents about that, because it's important that they know and that they help you. And so, that might be something to think about in the future, if that's something that would be helpful. And it's a difficult situation, because the youth is probably not going to be very happy with you, because they're going to feel like you're telling on me, but you have to do it in a way that's I'm supporting you in this, and I really am afraid for your safety, and this is what we need to do in order to make sure that you're okay.
Or maybe like, sorry?
I was going to say, with that person too, they just stopped. I probably asked them enough times that they got nervous and just stopped coming, so it would have probably been the same outcome, except for that person's parents would have known and could have gotten that person checked out, and now it's really not that relationship anymore.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to think about, somebody comes here for a night, or maybe for a while, but you don't know, maybe they won't come back next week, and maybe they'll never come back, and so you got to think about long term, like, the relationship I have with them is important, but is it more important that their parents know what's going on, and maybe they can, get some help in this area? That's a good thing to think about. I think it's hard. We're we're just human. We want people to like us. We don't want them to be mad at us, and we don't want to break relationships. And it's hard to sometimes feel like you're doing something that's going to ruin this relationship, but you just have to trust that you're doing the right thing and you're doing what's best for the person. It's kind of like when a parent disciplines, you know, and it's hard for them, but you know that in the end it's going to produce a good result, and you just sometimes have to go with that and know that maybe that kid's never going to want to talk to you again, but maybe you addressed something that needed to be addressed, and hopefully they'll find someone else to talk to about it next time, you know? Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how you respond to kids who tell you that they don't say that they're being abused, but they're seeing it go on, like their mom is, their dad is hitting their mom, or a stepdad is hitting their mom in the home, and it's happening.
Yeah.
Currently.
There's not a lot you can do if it's another adult, really. I mean, if there's a report that a child's being abused, then maybe you can make a report, but,
what do you say, just as far as being supportive and?
It's a hard one. I mean, you also want to make sure that the child is safe, the youth is safe. It's hard because adults make their own decisions, and so I guess you just kind of talk to them about, sometimes adults don't always make good decisions and do things that hurt them, that end in them hurting themselves, and it's hard because you don't want to encourage the child to start trying to counsel the parent, because that's not their job. But yeah, it's a really hard situation to be in. You have to support the youth, but you know that there's probably not a lot you can do to change the situation that they're in, and as long as they're not getting hurt. Okay. And so. Yeah, I wish I had better. I wish I had something that was more encouraging, like that one. But that's hard, because you deal with that too when kids are talking about their parents abusing alcohol and drugs too. Mm-hmm. They come in and tell you, what their mom and dad are doing and how it's, and it's very upsetting to them. And there's nothing you can do until the parent decides that they want to get help. And so it's a hard situation. Mm-hmm.
This is kind of confusing. Someone that comes kind of off and on, and when she can't come, she kind of has to lie to her dad to say that she's coming.
Okay.
If he were to find out that she'd come,
yeah,
he abuses her.
Okay.
So, this is, words that were spoken to me. So, well, I want you to come, but you know what I mean? It's not right for you to lie to him. So, I don't know, I guess, that situation, if I were to see her come back, and she's going through that same situation, it's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a hard.
Can you call the police on them? Because it's smackdown, what's really abuse? Is it?
If you feel like the person is in danger and they're getting abused, you can always make a report if they're underage. I mean, even if they're a teenager.
But it's almost like, in her mind, it's like it's okay, like it's normal. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just...
If that's what she's always experienced.